Matt from Dice Roundtable. Thanks for checking out this video. Like it if you appreciate it. Subscribe to the channel, help us out overall. And this is what I have here, not the paint rack. I'm going to be talking about the paints today. So, Quip it. This is just a paint rack. Holds dropper bottles really well. But what I'm talking about is I backed the Duncan Rhodes Too Thin Paints paint set. And I know there's other videos out there. But overall, Duncan Rhodes left Games Workshops, did his painting academy, and then ended up doing a paint line, which is apparently going through Asmodee, if I remember correctly. So hopefully they'll hit distribution through them. It's a triad-based system, so that each bottle says shade, medium, and highlight. And red, orange, grays. What is this? This is like a fur, reddish brown, more of a tan, pinks, flesh tone, blue, yellow, green. This is your gray to white. This is your like deserty yellow. This is, what is this one? This one is griffin claw to white. Dark gray blues. This is dark browns and then purples. Then there's metallics, which is bronze to 2 golds, and then silver metallics. Up here are the washes. There's flesh wash, let's see, black wash, mud wash, which is brown, green wash, red wash, orc flesh wash, sepia, zombie gore, and then you got the medium mixer. Overall, does it coat in 2 thin coats? Yes. Yellows, reds. I did some Rune Wars models to test out the yellow and reds. Man, this is a super smooth, super easy application to get your base coats and highlights. Army painters go into lots of triads. Games Workshops had the base, layer, highlight stuff for a while, but getting this was super well coating. Now, mixing these paints, and I'm going to talk about these. I'll talk about these in a minute. These are amazing because I did not really use the spirit medium at all. You can, if you mix it with the right amount of water, I got this into a contrast speed paint style coating on a model. So it's just mixing around. The colors vary on how much water. So I haven't really figured out how Zach mixes, but you can water it down just enough, mix it up, and it gives you that shading effect where the recesses pull darker and it's lighter on the high raised parts. The metallics look really good. I like the gold. The silvers, this Surcoat silver, which is the shadow, it's very dark. It's super dark. So I don't really use that one as much. I use these two, which is the plate armor and the mithril blade. I use those a lot more. This is just a really dark metallic silver. The flesh turned out really well. If you check some of my Facebook, I painted a giant recently using the flesh tones, blues, purples. It turned out really well. The washes. This is not your GW wash. It's not null oil. It's nowhere close. I wouldn't even say it's the old or the new formula that they talk about with it being closer to a contrast paint. This is like watered down black. When I put it on something, I'd have to super water this down to get it to even be kind of like null oil. I felt like it coated too much. Same for the brown wash, and using the flesh wash, where that one, same thing, where if I use like the contrast paints or an old, I forget what the GW one was, Reichland flesh wash I think it was, or something like that, it gives that reddish hue to some of those flesh tones. It's very opaque. You gotta water it down. So it's, to me, the washes are not really ready out of the bottle. You're going to have to mess with them. The only other issue that there is with this And it's not just storing the paint this way. When I open it, you will see paint around the rim. You will see paint in the cap. Now part of that is, well, I'm storing it this way and the paint's flowing up. I have Army Painter paints, I have Vallejo paints, I have AK paints, stored in racks just like this. None of them have this problem. 2, squeeze some paint out, flip the bottle up, you're going to see the pressure building up and the paint's coming up out of the top, coating down. So I squeeze the paint, seal it, get it back in my rack like this, and I find, for me, I don't have the paint building up on the lip. And I've seen and heard other people complain about the same thing, that paint will just come right out of the bottle. Especially on the metallics. The metallics are really, it's just covered. And it's going down into the rings. The top is, it just gets coated. Now it has not kicked the spout, which is good. Only other issue is, besides I can't buy them right now, if you're watching this now, is that these are 15 milliliter bottles, 0.5 ounces. That is slightly smaller than Army Painter and Vallejo. So you are getting a little bit less paint for the price when these come out. Otherwise though, I have to say they are a dream to paint with. For all those shortcomings, I can figure out how to work out the paint blowing up. I can work around losing some paint on the metallics. However, these, I'm still using GW washes. I might play around with these. I feel like this, if Duncan Rhodes and their team can come up with a better wash system, this will be a complete perfect paint system. I know there's talk about expanding the paint line, but look at them like, got basics, what are we going to get? All the different little, like GW, we have 4 different shades of green to be named for the 4 different green type of creatures you're going to paint. Otherwise, this is really basic. They do mix very well and easily with each other. Otherwise, highly encourage, like, if you don't have paints and you're looking to get a paint set, you might want to think about investing in these. These are paints designed by someone who paints for a living, literally. So, Duncan Rhodes paints, I would not look back. The washes is my concern, but the paints are amazing. Hope that helps. Check it out. Take care.